I encourage my students and I recommend that they spend time working on the snare drum. We can work on drum set and also work on snare drum. So for snare drumming, I recommend the Alfred's Drum Method Book 1. I've been using it for years. It's an excellent book, and they present right from the beginning all the musical notation, time signatures, dynamic markings. It allows my students to be prepared for the band setting, whether it's a school band or a community band, or if you're in a combo and someone puts a chart in front of you, you'll understand the musical notation and the dynamic markings and everything else that goes along with it. So let's take a look at the book. Okay, let's take a look inside. So it goes through everything, starting from the beginning, how to tune your snare drum, selecting drum heads, maintaining your drum. It goes over the various grips. I teach the matched grip right here. It talks about even technique, the stroke, stick height, other instruments that you'll encounter in a band setting, the bass drum, the cymbals, how to play those instruments. It runs through note values, whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, and how they relate to each other, bar lines, time signatures, repeat signs, everything you need to know in the band setting. And it starts from the beginning. So here we are in 4/4 with quarter notes being 4 per bar, introducing the quarter rest of equal value to the quarter note. And at the bottom of each lesson, they have a combination study. So they present certain rhythmic patterns above that repeat, and then below in the combination study, those rhythmic patterns are combined. And as you progress through the book, they start to introduce, for example here, eighth notes combined with quarter notes and the counting required, introducing eighth notes with quarter notes and quarter rests, and then there'll be a summary solo. Everything that you've learned up until this point will show up in this solo here. And they do a really good job of introducing new musical terms, in this case the dynamics, forte and piano, and crescendos and decrescendos, and different ways of repeating. Likewise here, different ways of repeating. They do a really great job of explaining all the musical terminology that you encounter, and they do it in a very logical, progressive way. I've had a lot of success with this book, and I get a lot of students on it. Here comes the eighth rest, combined with everything else we've previously learned. Dotted notes and how that increases the value of a note by 50%. Other dynamic markings start to show up. Pianissimo, fortissimo, other ways of repeating, dies del segno, el fine. We go through all that kind of stuff so that when you're in any kind of band setting, you know the musical terminology, you understand how to read the notes. 16th note showing up, counting one ianda. Everything you need to know. Combinations of 8th notes and 16th notes. And again, summaries at the bottom of each lesson. It's really a great book. I've been using it for years. I've probably helped them sell hundreds of copies of this book, and I will continue to do so. So it gets pretty involved as you move along. Not to be intimidated by all these notes. You can just play more slowly, and once you get confident, you start to speed things up. Other ways of repeating: repeat 2 bars, go back 2 bars. Lots of dynamic markings. Here we go from pianissimo, very soft, crescendo up to fortissimo, back down to pianissimo. Again, other ways of repeating, all those things are covered. So it's a fantastic book, and as you move through it, here's another time signature, 2/4. They introduce you to that. And then the roll, the buzz rolls start to show up. So we work on that, and that's really fun. 5-stroke roll, 9-stroke roll, right here. and some great solos. So I'll demonstrate this solo for you here. And then roll, 17-stroke roll. So this is the book I recommend for really anyone. I don't push it on my students, of course. If they just want to do drum set, that's fine. We'll do drum set. But I really encourage my students to also get a background in snare drumming and the rudimental technique involved. Yeah, so it's a great book. And by the time you even get halfway through this book, you're going to be in fine form for reading anything that gets put in front of you. Here come the triplets, 16th note triplets, and the counting involved. Rolls in triplet, the 7-stroke roll. This one's quite tricky with metric modulation, going from triplets to 16th notes, back to triplets, up to 16th note triplets. So there's some interesting counting that goes along with this solo here, which we can sort that out. And it's, I don't know, I've had a lot of fun with this book. So this is the book I recommend for anyone who wants to get a firm understanding of musical terminology, technique, and being able to read and understand music, sheet music, when it's put in front of you. Here comes the flam. Those are fun. So onward it goes. You get all your technique. It gets quite involved here. You got your flam accents, your flam taps. good stuff. 6/8, new time signature. So it's all covered here. You'll be in fine form once you get through this. So that's Alfred's drum method. This is the complete, so this is books 1 and 2. All you really need is book 1. Unless you're really into it, you can go ahead and grab the complete Alfred's drum method.